Welcome into the Analyst in the Armchair, an NFL podcast where one host is obsessed with stats and spreadsheets, and the other just really loves yelling at the TV on game day and has plenty of opinions. Together, Michelle and Nycole dive into player news, weekly matchups, and all the storylines you'll be talking about with your friends. Whether you're a hardcore or casual football fan, they've got something for you.
Welcome into the Analyst and the Armchair. I'm Michelle. I'm the Analyst part of the show. This is Nycole. She is the Armchair part of the show. Last week did not go well for me. I'm just going to throw that out there immediately. You know, if you listen, you're like, well, Michelle was wrong about a lot of stuff. Yeah, I was. I went 7 for 7. Not great.
Yeah, that might have been our worst week yet.
Yeah.
AKA your worst week yet.
Well, you went 8 and 6, so it's not like you killed it. But you are slowly climbing back in the game pick. So we will, at the end of the year, have some punishment for whoever loses. It looked like I was a slam dunk winner there for the first few weeks.
And now I'm just making my little comeback.
There was a lot of close games, you know?
So many close games this week. Yeah.
Like I picked the Raiders, and they went for 2 to win it, and they didn't get it. I picked
problem?
The Falcons.
They lost by 1
because their kicker can't kick an extra point.
Sure.
So, you know, I'm just going to make those excuses. But today we will, of course.
A true Steelers fan.
Hey, the Steelers won. I picked them.
Yep.
I had confidence
sure did.
in them.
Uh-huh.
We will go through all the Week 10 games and pick our winners like we always do each week. But, you know, I just want to talk about our fantasy matchup real quick, too. Because now you've swept me this year. I desperately needed the win. I had to play against Nycole's team. She's now beat me twice this year. All I needed was Bam Knight to just score 11 fantasy points, and he couldn't do it.
Listen, get out your brooms, folks, because there was a sweep. It was so great. She's just been complaining all week.
I was a little baby when I was losing.
Oh, my gosh. Like, cry me a river. Like, she was like, I can't believe this. I really needed a win this week because she's last in our division.
Shush.
So her playoff hopes are dwindling quickly.
I'll still make it. I'll come back.
Yeah, right.
I got time.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, great win for me. That makes me 7-2.
Yeah,
this season.
The Armchair beat the Analyst in both fantasy and our game picks last week, but we had trades happen. This week, we had big injuries happen, unfortunately, also. So we'll get into the latest NFL news and our Game 10 picks right now.
The opening drive.
Your boy, Jaden Daniels, severely injured his elbow. Now, it looked way worse than I guess it is. I mean, it looked disgusting.
It looked awful.
I kept looking for his knee. Like when I was watching it, I was like, what did he do to his knee? And then you finally see the elbow just go the exact opposite way. But it does seem like it's just not just because dislocating your elbow sounds disgusting.
I don't want it.
It's so painful. But it sounds like he's going to miss a lot of games. Yeah, but he could come back this year. He seems like he's going to be fine for next year. There was no ligament damage. So, I mean, the best case scenario for how bad the injury looked.
And you know, I was watching a video, I don't even know, probably on TikTok, because now I'm on it.
She's obsessed now, guys.
I'm not obsessed. It's so dramatic. I get on it like 3 times a week, but which is more than that's not true. But they were comparing like injuries to Washington players in Kansas City.
Yeah. It
was weird. Like if you believe in like conspiracy theories and stuff, go look it up. Like Commanders, you know, and mostly quarterbacks. Ironically, I don't know. It was wild, but I wore my little Commander shirt because I'm just so sad for my baby, Jaden. Hopefully, though, it's not too bad. It's so hard to watch him like play a game and play so good. He's so good, and then have 2 or 3 games where he's out and back and forth. So. Hopefully it's not that big of a deal in the long run, and he's going to be good to go.
With them already being 3 and 6, it's hard to see him coming back this year, but maybe it'll happen. Now, Kyler Murray for the Cardinals, I'm going to say he got benched. It's not the word they're using, but they're starting Jacoby Brissett. Mm-hmm. Kyler Murray should be healthy at this point. They're not really giving us much information, but Jacoby Brissett, beat up on the Cowboys. To be fair, Kyler Murray would have also beat up on the Cowboys. Like any quarterback beats up on the Cowboys,
Right.
but they want to roll with him. I think it's silly because Jacoby Brissett is not your answer at quarterback for the long haul.
Right.
Now, maybe Kyler Murray's not either, but you're paying him $1 gazillion. You might as well see if this works with Drew Petzing, even though we already know it doesn't. But I don't think Jacoby Brissett's going to change anything for this team.
Yeah, I mean, they're decent with him on the field. I have no good opinions, quite frankly,
They were
about that
decent with
franchise
Kyler
right
Murray
now.
too, and it's like,
Sure,
okay, yeah, you beat up on the Cowboys. Everyone does.
it's one of those franchises that, again, like at the beginning of the year, I was like, okay, they've got the pieces, similar to the Raiders, honestly. Like, okay, they've got on paper, they shouldn't be as bad as they are.
Yeah, well, they're bad. And they have to face the Seahawks this week, which we will talk about. The Seahawks have been on fire. I know.
We'll get there.
You're going to give me a lot for my Sam Darnold hate. It's fine. The Jets did sell their pieces before the trade deadline. They gave away not gave away. They got a lot of draft capital back, but still 2 young defensive center pieces for this team they decided to move on from. And Quinnen Williams, their defensive tackle, and Sauce Gardner, one of the best corners in the league. Gardner goes to the Colts. For whatever reason, the Cowboys trade for Quinnen Williams. They sent over a first-round pick. They're going to owe him a ton of money instead of just keeping Parsons and paying him the money.
I think they think they're better than they are.
Yeah, after they lost this week, I'm shocked they were buying. They have 3 wins on the season.
Yeah.
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, although their running defense stinks, so I guess Quinnen Williams can shore that up a little bit and be there for them in the future. But the Sauce Gardner move for the Colts is real interesting.
It's a huge deal, I think, for the Colts. Obviously, the Jets, they're obviously tanking, right? They're playing the long game.
Breece Hall for whatever reason.
Right. They're obviously playing the long game, but to the Colts, like, ship him off somewhere where, the team's like going to be a little better, but this is big for the Colts.
Yeah, the one area where the Colts were struggling was their pass defense. They were allowing a lot of yards, a lot of deep yards too. So Sauce Gardner with Chardavius Ward, if he can stay healthy as well, it's going to make up a really good cornerback room. And I know everyone's hating on Daniel Jones after that Pittsburgh game. I think it was just kind of a trap game and they'll be fine. Now, do I think Daniel Jones can win a Super Bowl? No.
I have some interesting thoughts on that.
Okay, we'll get to it when we get to the Colts game. Rashid Shaheed goes to the Seahawks. I hate this because it's such a good move.
And it's the Seahawks? Yeah. This one, I will preface, I have a bold take for when we get to the Seahawks game later in the show.
I don't even want to hear about it.
I know you don't, but I will share it. And we'll see what happens with my bold take.
It's a great trade for the Seahawks. It adds another weapon with JSN, who already was getting open with quadruple coverage. Nothing could stop that man. Rashid Shaheed's used to this system because he played with this play caller last year when he had a career year with the Saints. So it's a great move. And really I hate it as a 49ers fan.
Sure.
Yep.
Makes sense.
And then lastly, very sadly, Tucker Kraft tore his ACL out for the season. He has been the main guy for Jordan Love and in that Packers offense, passing offense. So that's a huge loss for the Packers.
It really is. I think especially after last week, how disheveled they looked on offense. It's a big deal for them moving into the second half of the season.
It is. All right, let's hop into these week 10 games. We have a lot of good ones this week, a lot of divisional games too. So, my 49ers get the Rams and no one's giving them a shot. So, including you, we're going to talk about that and the rest of the games right now.
Between the 20s.
We have 4 teams on bye this week. We got the Bengals, the Chiefs, the Cowboys, and the Titans all on bye. Really, the only team we'll miss watching is the Chiefs, I guess. Maybe the Bengals offense if you love fantasy. But I don't think we're going to be missing the Titans all that much. Maybe the Cowboys.
I won't miss really any of them. I mean, I miss Jamar Chase, but I miss him all year because Joe Burrow's out. So
he's been doing it up with Joe Flacco.
It's probably a good time for Joe Flacco to have a little break,
Yeah,
he's old.
Give that old man shoulder a break.
Go get a massage. I don't know. Go do something that you're just hanging out.
There will be an old man playing this week in a very important game. We got the Rams against the 49ers. This is such a huge game because there are now 3 teams in the NFC West that have 6 wins. The only division that has 3 teams with 6 wins. So very close race. The Rams, the 49ers, and the Seahawks. 49ers and Rams will face off this week with the Seahawks facing the Cardinals. So big week, and you're taking the Rams to win.
I am taking the Rams.
Because you hate me.
No.
You want me to be sad.
No, I think the thing is, so 49ers went into, not Texas, but Houston, rather, and McCaffrey was nowhere to be seen. They got back to giving him the ball this last week against the Giants, which obviously works really well. It's Christian McCaffrey. But I think the Rams acquiring Roger McCreary from the Titans is actually, going to help them. Their defense is meh right now. I think that's going to only help them by not giving up so many yards in the secondary. And the unfortunate thing for the 49ers is their best receiver is right now
Christian McCaffrey?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the only guy you really have to worry about, is McCaffrey, but Jennings is the next guy, right? And, adding McCreary, I think, is only going to help limit options for Mac Jones. I still don't know where Brock Purdy is or what's happening with that. What are they doing? Why is this franchise?
It's Mac Jones again somehow.
Why is this franchise not just telling people or putting people on IR? They're bad about that.
Yeah.
You need to talk to them about that. So I think as long as the Rams can isolate McCaffrey and do what they need to do with him, they're going to lean on Kyren Williams a lot this game. Puka Nacua should be back. I think they were just, kept him out of the game last week just out of abundance of precaution. And Devontae Adams looks good. So I feel really good about the Rams taking this game.
And you say if they can stop Christian McCaffrey, but do you know McCaffrey just absolutely owns the Rams?
But here's the thing. I think you say that with half of the teams.
But he plays against divisional teams a lot, and he owns the divisional teams. But against the Rams, he has the most scrimmage yards per game in his career.
Okay.
By any player versus any opponent. Fourth most scrimmage yards per game by any player versus any opponent in NFL history. It's 158. I don't even have it in my notes. It's 158 scrimmage yards per game he averages in 5 career games.
Right.
He just earlier this year had over 130 scrimmage yards.
Yeah.
And a touchdown.
He can have that as long as no one else does anything.
Yeah, and that could be the case. They need to get Kittle more involved. He's been a ghost. And this is the thing, until Purdy comes back, Purdy has such a strong connection with Kittle.
Yes.
But I still think it's going to be Mac Jones. I don't think that's the worst thing for this matchup because the Rams have such a good pass rush and Mac Jones gets the ball out so much faster than Purdy. He's the 4th fastest quarterback at getting out the ball from time of snap. So I think that could help. And then also Matthew Stafford is 2-6 against 49ers in his career. Yeah. And always puts up pretty bad numbers against them, even though he did pretty good earlier this year. But I'm going to take the 49ers, and for whatever reason, they're 4.5 point underdogs at home. I don't like Vegas. Vegas can
what?
I don't know.
They can what, Michelle?
They're normally right, so. All right, moving on to the next game. We got the Steelers against the Chargers. The Steelers really showed up last week. I would like to say dominated the Colts. It only ended up being a 7-point game, but still they had their way for most of that game and really shut down that Colts offense, and their defense showed up. But the Chargers have now won 2 straight games. 3 out of the last 4. The only loss has been to the Colts in that span. You're taking the Chargers.
I am taking the Chargers. The Steelers are coming off a really good defensive game. Their defense looked how we think the Steelers defense should look, right? But I think, unfortunately, you were correct last week when you said Steelers do this, right? They win the games that you think they don't have a chance. They lose the games they should win, this kind of thing. And I think, was it one-off, or is this going to be the defense for the rest of the season? I think it was a one-off game. Now, I do think the tricky thing is Joe Alt being out for the Chargers. We've said all season long, he makes a difference for, honestly, just like Justin Herbert's confidence, right? To throw the ball. I don't know what it is, just like the security blanket of having Joe Alt there really helps him play better. So I think if they're going to have a chance against the Steelers, he has to play like Joe Alt is out there. Also, the Chargers defense just struggles against a mobile quarterback. But why is that helpful for this game? Because Aaron Rodgers can't move. It's like he's stuck in quicksand because he's 100 years old. So I think that'll be an advantage for the Chargers. And what's up with the Steelers not doing anything at the trade deadline? Are they serious?
Yeah, they really needed a trade for a wide receiver, and they did not.
Badly.
Mm-hmm.
Because Metcalf was a joke last week.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
he did get covered.
I don't know if I would play him in fantasy this week. Actually, I do know. I put him on my bench. So
I'm going to keep playing him.
But don't do it, people.
I'm taking the Steelers to win this game, and you're right that I don't think the Steelers defense is just fixed. I think this is exactly what they do when their back is against the wall. They come, show up for a game or two, and then they'll fall back down to life. It's the whole circle with Mike Tomlin and the era of Mike Tomlin football. But another team who just always disappoints whenever you need them to show up is the Chargers. The Chargers always disappoint. So I think in this game, the Steelers will be able to handle it. The big point you made was Joe Alt. They're a much worse team without him. And I think the Steelers will just figure out enough ways to get going. Their offense is much better with Aaron Rodgers. I hate to say it.
Yuck.
But Rodgers will throw a couple touchdowns.
Hopefully a couple interceptions.
The Chargers offensive line is like real, just banged up altogether. Rashawn Slater's out for the year. Joe Alt is now out for the year. Their other backup tackle, Bobby Hart, got hurt last game, left in the first quarter, didn't come back. Mekhi Becton didn't play last week due to a knee injury. We'll see if he can play, but that's too many injuries when you're going up against TJ Watt.
I mean, you say that, but he's been non-existent until last week. So
Jalen Ramsey got moved to safety. That seemed to be huge. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. The Steelers are 3-point underdogs. So far I took the 2 underdogs to win. So
well,
this is probably why
we all know your record and things. So
my record is still better than yours. Shush it. We finally are agreeing on a game, the Eagles-Packers. We are taking the Eagles to win against this Packers team.
Yeah, in Green Bay, which at first I was like, I don't know. But listen, the Packers against the Panthers last week, yikes.
How are there 2 losses against the Browns and the Panthers? I do not know.
So it's like they forget how to play football, quite frankly. Like Jordan Love looked, bad. And, looking at the Packers schedule this season, like they've actually it's been relatively easy. Like if you look at the teams and kind of how it's all worked out, now they're getting to a point in their schedule that some of these better teams they're coming up against. And I'm afraid they're going to kind of self-implode a little bit here.
Love to hear it.
I know you are. And here's the thing. The Eagles are great after bye weeks. They're coming off of 2 really good wins. Saquon Barkley is finally getting the ball. Jalen Hurts is playing really good football right now. So I think the other thing to consider here is the Eagles and what they did during the trade deadline. They got 3 defensive players at the trade deadline. You've got Jalen Phillips from the Dolphins, who's an edge player. You've got, I'm going to say his name wrong, Jair Alexander. Jair, yes. From the Ravens, which they shouldn't be giving up anybody on defense.
He hasn't played all year. It's weird.
Yeah.
He never plays is the issue.
Right. And then you've got Nycole Carter from the Jets. Again, the Jets just throwing people out the window. Both of those players quarterbacks, right? And so I think what happened here is you've got the Eagles who played the first half of the season. They lost a couple games they probably shouldn't have, but they really looked at what do we need to be successful the second half of the season and really elevate ourselves to be at the top of the conference. And I think they did what they needed to do. And I think they're going to do what they need to do in this game.
Yeah. And it's always funny. We go through this little span of time where we're like, the Eagles can't throw the ball. And then all of a sudden they need to, and they're like, yeah, we can. So the last 2 games for the Eagles, Hurts has 7 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions, is averaging almost 12 yards per pass attempt. A.J. Brown should be back this week after the bye. Dallas Goedert should be able to beat up the Packers. It's the one area that they really struggle against tight end. So I'm with you. I think the Eagles win this game. Shockingly, the Eagles are underdogs. I guess it is in Green Bay, but I think the Tucker Kraft injury is huge.
I agree with you. Yeah. I think it's much bigger than people initially think.
Yeah, so Eagles plus 2.5. We think they're going to win. So
Take
we're
it.
taking that.
Mhm.
Another fun one called the Tom Brady Bowl. Patriots against the Buccaneers. We are different on this one. I'm taking the Buccaneers. You're taking the Patriots. This is very close for me.
Mhm.
Like I will not be surprised either way this goes. Both of these teams right now rank second in their conference. The Patriots behind the Colts in the AFC, and then the Buccaneers behind only the Eagles in the NFC.
Mhm.
But you like the Patriots on the road this week.
I am taking the Patriots. The Bucks traditionally are kind of like mixed reviews after bye weeks. They were also on bye last week. And the Patriots rush defense is allowing the least amount of yards this year. Rashad White will be non-existent again. Somebody
But Bucky
else.
Irving's coming back.
Somebody else I wouldn't. Bucky Irving. I wouldn't play them in fantasy.
I'm playing Bucky for sure.
Against the Patriots. I love that we're both giving fantasy advice, and you just told everybody how bad you are in fantasy. So take that for what you want. Patriots have only lost twice. Okay,
Mhm.
they've both been at home. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like they lost
And
at
they're
home.
early in the year.
So it's at Tampa Bay. I like that for the Patriots. Drake May's been playing really good. I mean, he has a few interceptions this year. He threw one last week, but I like them. I think they're doing what they need to do. This will be a high scoring game, I believe. It'll come down to the quarterbacks, I think, and how well they can get the ball to folks to score.
Now, the Patriots have won 6 straight games, and you got to give that to them. And I do think Drake May is a very good quarterback. I think their defense is thriving. But at the same time, I do think maybe they're a tad overrated, especially on the defensive side. Like they played the Falcons, and they let Drake London score 3 touchdowns on them. Should have lost that game, or at least tied and went to overtime.
Mhm.
They played the Browns before that. Okay, cool. They played the Titans before that. Okay, cool. They don't have an offense. They played the Saints before that. Cool. They don't have an offense. That's 3 straight of the worst offenses in the league.
Yeah.
They did beat the Bills by 3 points, so you got to give them that. And then before that, it was the Panthers they beat, and before that was the Dolphins they beat. Like those are some not good teams outside of the 3-point win against the Bills.
Yeah.
Now that's why I'm going to take the Buccaneers. They do have to get their passing game going. The last 2 games before the bye, Baker and this offense were a disaster. With like Evans going down, without Bucky Irving, without Chris Godwin, Emeka Ibuka was dealing with a hamstring injury he was playing through. Hopefully they can all, besides Mike Evans, who isn't coming back, but can all get out there and play well together.
Yeah. Well, hopefully not. But
it will. I do
maybe.
think it'll be a very, very close game. Let me
Agreed.
look at the point. So the Buccaneers are favorites by 2.5 points.
I just think that's because they're at home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. We have a game in Berlin on Sunday morning. It's the Falcons against the Colts. And we're both taking the Colts because I do just think last week was just a trap game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think this is like, oh, the Colts stink. They showed their real true colors. Daniel Jones has fallen back down to life. Like, no, they had to go to Pittsburgh. It's a hard place to play. The Steelers had lost the 2 games before.
They needed the win.
They needed the win. They were told by everyone in media they weren't going to win, that their defense stunk. Like, it was just a bad game to be going into as the Colts. I'm not worried about them. I think they're going to be completely fine. The Falcons have lost 3 games in a row. Now, last week it was close, but they got their butts beat by the Dolphins. Their butts beat by the 49ers. Even last week, the Colts still only lost by 7 points, and Daniel Jones had 5 turnovers. 5 turnovers.
That's a lot.
It will be a lot of fun, though, to watch Bijan Robinson versus Jonathan Taylor.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a fun matchup.
That is a very fun matchup. I think, too, it's insane to me that dare I say, maybe the best offense in the league right now, gets the addition. Their defense is fine. Gets the addition of Sauce Gardner, and you're like, what else do they need? Nothing, in my opinion. I think this is going to be. We're going to see what happens in this game. I think the Colts will blow out the Falcons.
Blow out.
Yeah.
So It's so hard because international games could get wonky. You're playing so early in the morning.
Sure.
I mean, I know it's not early in the morning there, but like in their own brain and bodies, it's
Mhm.
early in the morning.
Mhm.
So it can get wonky there. And Michael Penix Jr. and Drake London went off last week.
True.
But I still like Jonathan Taylor got held by the Steelers, like did not do much of anything. I don't think that's going to happen against the Falcons. So yeah, this will be really fun.
Mhm.
This is actually fun little note I have here. This is going to be the first time that two running backs have faced off of each other in week 10 or earlier, with already having 1,000 rushing yards on the season
Wow.
since 2002, when Hall of Famers Marshall Faulk and LaDainian Tomlinson faced off against each other.
Wow.
Fun little note.
So
If you're a
cute.
nerd like me. All right, let's talk about your Texans. They get the Jaguars this week. No CJ Stroud. It was announced that Davis Mills will start. Stroud is in concussion protocol. And for that reason and that reason only, I'm going to take the Jaguars because Davis Mills doesn't win games. But you're taking the Texans. Tell me why.
Of course, I'm taking the Texans.
But do you actually believe in it is the question.
Here's the thing. Trevor Lawrence had 2 rushing touchdowns last week.
Well, Trevor Lawrence
Not
stinks too, yeah.
Gonna happen this week. Not against the Texans defense, okay? They will rely on their record-setting kicker to get field goals. The Jaguars will.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Texans should have won the first matchup game.
Yeah.
I was so mad at that game because there is no reason the Texans lost that game. This feels like a revenge game for me, and I hope for them. It's in Houston, which is always very exciting. And yes, CJ Stroud will be out, but I think while I don't think Davis Mills is like the answer, he can get it done. He showed that last week. He can make plays. It's not like going like to Tua, like I think he can do what he needs to do to beat the Jaguars.
It's not like going to Tua.
I think Tua's terrible.
Well, Tua is terrible, but Davis Mills is terrible.
Well, I agree. I just couldn't think of a backup fast enough that I think is really bad.
Davis Mills.
Jake Browning would have been a good choice.
Yeah. Davis Mills, his record in the NFL, 5-19-1. It is the worst record by any quarterback with at least 25 starts since 2021. The next three behind him are Justin Fields, Bryce Young, and Zach Wilson.
Okay, but what were the years that Davis Mills played? Didn't he start
2021
for a
and
while?
2022. Yeah, he started 25 games over that span.
Yeah, he had no business starting.
Well, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
And it only got like his first year wasn't that bad in the league. He had decent numbers. His second year in 2022 was terrible.
Listen, the Texans had a period, aka most of their franchise history, where I don't know what they were doing. Like Davis Mills should have never been.
But their offense has already been struggling this year. They're only averaging 21 points per game. It is the third fewest by a team with 3 or more wins this year. Only the Panthers and Falcons are averaging more in teams with 3+ wins. So now you take away CJ Stroud and all of a sudden they're going to be able to score.
But football's not just scoring, it's defense too. So
their defense is great.
Sure, if your offense isn't, got all these stops, that just means your defense has to work harder. And the Texans defense does work really hard and does do a really good job of keeping people from scoring a lot of points.
I know, but they only allowed 18 points last week and still lost.
Listen,
because Davis Mills had to play the majority of the game.
Okay, well, I'm not saying he's the end all be all gonna fix everything. I'm just saying
the Texans are favorites at home, 1.5 point favorites. I'm taking the Jaguars. I'm sorry. I'll be rooting for the Texans.
Well, I'm taking the Texans and the spread.
Nice. Ravens, Vikings. The Ravens are now a 2-game win streak. I said they'll go on a 9-game win streak, so I'm 7 games away from being right about that. So still
something to hold on to.
I'm just gonna keep going. I don't want the Ravens to keep winning, but they just are going to, and I'm taking them to win this game against the Vikings. It's in Minnesota, sure, but the Vikings, like, everything went their way against that Lions team. Everything went their way. They couldn't stop having the ball bounce their way. They couldn't stop getting long kick returns and stuff like that. They got a block. They needed everything to go their way to beat the Lions last week. The Ravens are with Lamar Jackson are just too good, and the Vikings can't keep up.
That's your hot take?
I didn't say it was a hot take.
That's your take.
Well, you're taking the Vikings.
Yeah, I am. I'm taking the Vikings. I think JJ McCarthy came out and looked better than I think anybody thought he would.
How? In what way?
I just thought he was going to be atrocious, and he was decent.
Okay.
So
It's like he still didn't throw for
I'm-
150 yards.
I'm not saying he's.
143 yards he threw.
They didn't need to.
I mean, kind of.
The run game was really great last week for the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
I love when
that's
you're looking
gonna.
at me like, tell me I'm right.
Well, I am right,
Uh-huh.
and that's going to continue this week. The Ravens, their defense is trash.
No, not anymore.
Yes,
the
it
last 3
is.
games it's been great.
Anyway, they're going to rely heavily. The Vikings are going to rely heavily on Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones. So I think the Vikings they're actually really efficient in the red zone. So as long as they can get down there, they do a really good job once they're there. So as long as, and two, the defense, do you know how many times they sacked Jared Goff last week?
A lot.
5 times.
Yeah.
Those are Denver Bronco numbers. Okay. Like
You know how hard it is to sack Lamar Jackson?
it's not going to be.
It is. Like, he doesn't get sacked like that. He is able to.
It's-
You're comparing Jared Goff to Lamar Jackson's mobility. Those are
A
two completely
little.
different things.
A little.
A little.
A little. No, I definitely think the Vikings have an edge because they're coming off of that really good game last week, beating the Lions. Nobody thought they were going to beat the Lions.
No.
And so I think their defense has stepped it up, and I think they can take this one at home.
They still won by 3 points, and they had to have so many things go wrong with the Lions for that to happen. I think McCarthy is still yet to throw for 160 yards in a game. He scored 3 touchdowns. Cool. And he looked better than we thought. But it was really that first drive and that last drive, which I guess is all you really need.
Yeah.
But not against the Ravens. You need way more than that. Lamar Jackson's going to put up points. The defense that you brought up in their last 3 games have allowed 13 points per game. And they faced the Rams. They held them. They faced the Dolphins. But their offense can put up some points. Their defense just stinks. And they faced the Bears, who just put up over 40 points against the Bengals. But they stopped them as well to just 16 points. So they're doing the thing. They fix their defense. They'll be fine. I'm taking the Ravens for sure. This was like my lock of the week.
Whoa.
And the Ravens are 4.5-point favorites. So Vegas agrees with me.
Well, we'll see, won't we?
Okay. This one we're agreeing on. This next one's the Lions and the Commanders. The Lions, yes, they lost last week to the Vikings. They already have more losses this year than they did last year altogether. They're 5-3. Some disappointing losses in there to the Packers, the Chiefs, and the Vikings. But the Commanders have also just been losing nonstop. 4 straight losses. They lost their last 3 games by over 20 points. Not great. They don't have Jaden Daniels. I don't think Marcus Mariota in this offense is going to be able to keep up. Terry McLaurin's hurt again. Deebo Samuel is not good. I told you. And they don't have a run game. And their defense stinks. For all of those reasons, I feel like the Lions are just going to absolutely destroy the Commanders.
I agree with you. I took the Lions here. Begrudgingly because I love my little Commanders. But the Commanders have lost Austin Eckler, their starting running back.
Mm-hmm.
Jaden Daniels out indefinitely, their starting quarterback. Marshawn Lattimore done
Who
for
you
the
hate, so
yes, because he's annoying and he gets so many penalties and he shouldn't. But out for the season. You've got Luke McCaffrey, who's on IR. We don't know when he's coming back. Terry McLaurin has missed half of the season so far. Don't know what's going to happen with him. Are we the problem? Both of one of our teams are just depleted, to say the least, with injuries.
Yeah.
Are we the problem?
We might be. Look at us right now in our 49ers and Commander shirts, and they're just dying.
Listen, I'm going to start wearing Chiefs gear and see what happens,
Nice.
you know?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't wish anybody to get
No,
hurt,
it's-
but
it's fine.
I'd like if they started losing some,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I'm worried it's us.
And the Lions are 8.5-point favorites, and I'm taking it. I think they win by at least 10 points in this game, if not 20, if not 30.
I'd take it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Lions' run game really got stifled by the Vikings last week. That's not going to happen against the Commanders. They're going to run all over them, throw all over them. It's going to be a grand old time for fantasy players on the Lions, not so much for the Commanders. This next game we're also agreeing on, and I hate it. The Cardinals against the Seahawks. We're both taking the Seahawks. Nycole, you could tell me all about how much you love them. Go ahead.
Okay, well, first of all, who at the beginning of the season would have said, I think halfway through the season, that NFC West will collectively be the best division in the league going into week 10?
I don't think it's that crazy.
I do. No, I wouldn't have said it. So their collective win percentage is 63%, which is pretty freaking good.
3 teams with 6 wins.
I mean, crazy. So Seahawks, really good. I feel like no one's talking about them though.
I feel like after their win on Monday night, right?
Yeah.
People are now.
Yeah, but like I think they're due a lot more credit than they've been given so far. They played Arizona in week 4. They did win, but it was their closest game to win, only by 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
Most of their other wins were like 6, 7, and beyond points. So that's a little concerning for me. Their 2 losses were 4 points or less. So only the games they're losing, they're barely losing, right? And they look that way, which is scary. Okay, so I have a bold take.
Okay. I'm not ready for it.
They just added
Rashid Shaheed.
Yes. I think Jason's been balling. Nobody, even the Texans defense nobody can figure out how to stop this man from getting the ball. I don't want to say their only wide receiver, but he's the only person getting the ball. It's so scary. They, I think, are the front runner to win the conference.
Okay.
I think they win the conference this year.
I do not think that. I will not. I actually won't be surprised if the Cardinals upset the Seahawks. But I'm still going to pick the Seahawks. Sam Darnold is looking good. He always still makes that stupid mistake.
Okay, but he looks great. Just give it to him.
He's looking okay.
Don't make me air it out. I asked Michelle and I did a little exercise, over some beers. And I was like, she was, giving grief to Sam Darnold. And I said, he's not even in your bottom, 5 quarterbacks or 10. I don't remember. We went through the list, y'all. She loves Sam Darnold.
Don't, but there's a lot of bad quarterbacks in the league.
I'm just saying. I think it's time to hang it up. Hang up your little fake hate for Sam Darnold and just be honest that he's great.
He's playing well. He was playing this well for the Vikings last year. And guess what? When it got too big for him at the end of the year, he completely fell on his face. So it'll happen again. Just got to give it time. But Jackson Smith and Jigba is balling out. It's insane. And their defense is playing well. The Seahawks have won 8 straight games against the Cardinals. I would actually be shocked if the Cardinals beat the Seahawks. I do expect them to win. I expect them to be 7-2. And then one of the Rams or 49ers have to lose this week.
Yep.
Unless they tie.
Oh,
be even
gosh.
Worse and gross.
Yuck.
But the Seahawks are 6.5-point favorites. I don't know. I do think the Cardinals will keep it close.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to take that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But the Seahawks to win, I mean, I would take that. Now, Bills, Dolphins. Bills. It seems very simple. I don't know how Mike McDaniel still has a job, but he has something on that ownership for sure. They did fire their GM. I don't know what that's going to do. They have won 2 games this year, one against the Jets, one against the Falcons. The Bills had that little stretch before the bye where they're struggling a little bit, but have come back strong the next 2 weeks. So, I mean, Josh Allen's fantastic, and he's going to destroy the Dolphins. I don't really know what else there is to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, the Dolphins, I think they scored 21 last time. There's no way they do that again. They're so bad. They're so bad. So, yeah, this is a Bills win. What's the spread?
I'm sure it's like, let's guess what it is.
I'm guessing like 8?
9.5.
Oh, okay.
9.5. And I think the Bills cover it.
Yeah.
Now it is in Miami, but I don't really care. Do we know Josh Allen is actually averaging more total yards per game and has more touchdowns through 8 games this year than he had last year in his MVP season?
Well, and am I wrong? James Cook potentially is out.
He says he's fine, but the coaching staff is kind of hesitant.
Okay. Even still,
they're fine.
Take it.
Ray Davis will pick up Ray Davis now off waivers. Oh my God, I might want to go do that.
I already did.
Oh. No. All right. We're moving on.
And this is why I win games.
Giants against the Bears. I actually think this is a very fun game.
Okay.
Jackson Dart against Caleb Williams should be a lot of fun. We're different here. I'm taking the Giants. You're taking the Bears. Listen, this Bears defense, I don't know what happened. It's like they're so lucky they were facing the Bengals last week because they could just score whenever they wanted to.
Yeah.
And the Giants defense is not good. I will say that.
Mhm.
But they do have a good defensive line, a good pass rush. And Caleb Williams holds on to the ball for 1 gazillion seconds. To have the actual time, he's averaging 3.24 seconds per drop back to the time to throw. That's the longest since the Next Gen Stats era started in 2016. Longest by any quarterback in any season.
Wow.
So he's holding on to it too long. And the Giants' one area where they're good is the pass rush and getting to the quarterback. So that's why I'm taking him. And the Bears defense thinks just like the Giants defense does. And Jackson Dart's the dude. He really is.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I do feel like I feel bad for him that he has no one on offense, right? Like it's just kind of sad, really, because I don't think they're
Imagine if you had Malik Neighbors still.
right. Like I don't think their record reflects how like actually good he is.
Yeah.
But I did take the Bears here. You know, they're on a little winning streak.
Mhm.
If Caleb, I know as soon as I say this, Caleb Williams is just gonna like destroy me because and make me mad because I'm finally like, okay, I take Caleb Williams for 1 week. They leave their defense leads the league in takeaways.
Mhm.
That's shocking. It's just shocking. And I just think the Giants simply, I don't think they're going to be able to score enough on offense to win this game. I think that's what it comes down to for me.
See, my worry is that their defense will just allow too many points. I think their offense will be able to score points. Now, without Cam Scatterboo, their run game really did struggle.
Yeah.
Singletary, I don't know why Singletary is playing so much. They didn't let Tyrone Tracy play very much. It was like a split backfield. So Cam Scatterboo and Malik Neighbors being out really stinks. I would love to see this offense all together. That'd be very exciting. But I'm still going to take them just because I just don't believe in Caleb Williams and this Bears offense. Now, their run game
flip-flopped there.
Yeah, their run game might be excellent. Kyle Monagai just destroyed the Bengals last week. And if they get DeAndre Swift back, Swift and Monagai can do that nice 1-2 punch. It should be close, but they are giving the Bears 4.5 points. Not giving them, actually. They're 4.5 point favorites. So they're giving the Giants 4.5 points. I'm taking that.
I don't know. I do think it'll be close.
Okay.
I don't know what I would do. I'm going to be honest. Like, I think the Bears will win, but is it by a field goal? You know, I don't know.
We have a matchup between the most embarrassing teams in the league.
And we picked different teams, which I think is so funny. It's so silly.
Browns against the Jets. It's almost like so bad it's entertaining. You know, like those movies or TV shows are so bad that they kind of get you hooked. Yes. I feel like that's this game.
Yes.
And I have been on the Jets, just taking them every week. So why stop now? Because they're facing the Browns. It's the one game that you actually have hope against. And you're taking the Browns. I mean, both teams are just pitiful. And I don't, the reason I'm taking the Jets is because it's at home. And the Browns defense is completely different at home versus home, or at home versus away. At home, they're only allowing 13.5 points per game. Away, they're allowing 32.5 points per game. But this has been a trend for multiple years now. Their defense has been very, very good at home for like the last 3 years and been terrible on the road. Dylan Gabriel stinks at quarterback for the Browns. We're just waiting for them to finally give Shedeur Sanders a chance. I'm not saying the Jets are good whatsoever, and they just traded away their best defensive players. But again, the Browns are just equally as bad. So I'm going the Jets.
See, that's my thing is like, why are you giving me a win in our competition by picking the Jets?
You're picking the Browns.
They literally just gave away the decent people they had.
But the Browns don't have any decent people.
I disagree. I think Dylan
They
Gabriel
do.
comes out and plays a decent game. I mean,
But why?
Why not? It's against the Jets, who just gave away like 3 different defensive people that actually were holding teams from not just blowing them out.
Yeah. It should be a high scoring game. I just think if they have Fields and Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall, That's just much more advantageous than having Dylan Gabriel. Do love Quinshon Judkins. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Absolutely love him. He should have a great game. But then, like, Harold Fannin Jr., I guess, is like their top guy right now. Guess they get Cedric Tillman back. Jerry Jeudy stinks. I don't know. It's going to be a close, terrible, miserable game. Hilarious, though, at the same time.
It's in
New York.
New York.
Yeah.
I hope they show the fans again with the brown sacks over their heads. That was my favorite part of watching the Jets the other day.
Both of these fan bases need to have those paper bags over their heads.
Yeah.
The Browns are 2.5-point favorites on the road, so they do expect the Browns to win. I'm not going to be shocked if the Browns win.
Right.
Obviously, the
Right.
Jets have won one game, and it was week 8. But it is what it is. I just think the Browns are just that bad as well.
Mhm.
Next game, Raiders against the Broncos. We're both going with the Broncos
Mhm.
because the Raiders are not good.
Who would want to choose the Raiders?
Yeah. This game's on Thursday Night Football. So by the time you're listening to this, hopefully it's not already Thursday Night Football. But Broncos have won 6 straight games. I do think, some of those games they didn't really deserve to win, or they made it way too close for no reason. And they need to stop playing that little game where in the fourth quarter you have the game so close. But against the Raiders, Smith cannot stop turning the ball over.
Mhm.
The Broncos have such a good pass rush, such a good defense that even with Brock Bowers back and them being a better offense, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, it was nice to see him back last week and them actually get some completions. But yeah, I think this is an easy win for the Broncos. I would even say they probably win by at least 2 touchdowns.
Well, they're 8.5-point favorites.
I'd take it.
This is the thing. Thursday Night Football can get wonky,
True.
and divisional games can get wonky.
True.
So that's my only issue is
Okay.
that. But I still think the Broncos easily win this game.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, it's a home game for the Broncos. They should really handle it. Last game here, Saints against the Panthers. We're both taking the Panthers because the Saints have won one game this year.
Yep.
And now I realize I took the Jets and they won one game. But the Panthers at least have 5 wins this year. They've won 5 out of their last 7 games. And their offense, when they lean on Rico Dowdle, is so good. It's so much better.
That's the thing. They finally figured out, we should lean on this guy instead of Chuba Hubbard.
3-0 when they let him start the game.
Exactly.
play.
So they're going to do that against the Saints and have a field day.
Yeah, the Saints, it doesn't matter who they have in at quarterback, Tyler Shuck or Spencer Rattler. It was the same exact outcome. And we knew this going into the season, right?
Right.
They didn't have any quarterbacks. They're trying, just keep losing games, Saints. Get that number 1 overall pick and take a quarterback next year because
Listen, now it's the race for number 1 first pick because the Jets are clearly tanking, overtly. And I know the Saints got rid of Rashid Shaheed, but
Rashid Shaheed.
Mhm, that one.
Yeah.
I knew I was gonna mess it up. I was like, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be the race for first pick. That's for sure.
The Titans, the Saints, the Jets.
Yeah.
I mean the Browns. A lot of teams.
I even think the Titans are trying too hard.
Well, the thing is, they already took their quarterback, so it's
Right.
I don't know if Cam Ward's the answer, but it's always hard when you take the number
I
overall.
don't
pick.
know. I don't know.
I will say I've not watched enough Titans games this year. I just feel like they're never the team I'm dying to watch, So
Yeah.
they're on. I have all the games up at one time, but it's never like I'm keying in on that game. They did play it better against the Chargers than I would have thought.
Mhm.
But they're on a bye this week, so maybe they'll fix some things. We are done with our game previews, but we still have our 2-minute warning where we're going to give you our biggest pretender in the NFL right now and who we think, their record does not at all say what they're going to do the rest of this season.
2-minute warning.
To end today's show, we're going to give you our biggest pretender in the NFL right now. And what that means is a team that has a really good record, but we just don't truly believe in them in that record. We think they're pretending being good. I'm going to go with the Broncos, the 7-2 Broncos, who are about to be 8-2 because they're going to beat the Raiders.
Mhm.
All right. But this is my thing. They barely could beat the Jets in week 6. They had to win by 2 points. They barely could beat the Giants. They had to have a massive comeback. They won by 1 point. They did beat the Cowboys, but so did the Cardinals last week. It doesn't seem like it's hard to beat the Cowboys this year. And then they barely beat the Texans, even though CJ Stroud went out pretty early in that game. They needed to win at the last moment. Won by 3 points, could only score 18 points in this game. Bo Nix has taken a step back from last year. They're still fine, especially at home, but they're depending way too much on these fourth quarter comebacks. And sooner or later, it's going to bite them in the butt. They've lost to the Colts and the Chargers. They barely beat the Eagles are the only good win on their schedule this year. So I think the Broncos are overrated, and they just depend way too much on comebacks at the end of games.
Yeah, that's I did not know you were going to say them. So I'm like, wow. I wish that they would have lost against the Texans, but unfortunately,
I think they would have if Stroud was playing.
Yeah. Well, we'll never know.
Mm-hmm.
My choice is a little more obvious. It's a team that's 5-3. I'm going to give you a guess. You want to guess?
The Steelers?
No, but I would have loved to pick them. No, I'm picking the Jaguars.
Okay.
Their first half of their schedule was some not great teams. Like I said, I think they're sneaking out wins for games that they probably should not be winning. The rest of their season doesn't let up. And so I think they're going to lose a lot more games in the next few weeks. And people are going to be like, oh yeah, those are the Jaguars we know that just lose. And they're always the team that you say they're going to lose. And I think they're going to start that this week against the Texans.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence is just not it. He's not it. And they paid him so much money, but his stats again this year are some of the worst among all quarterbacks. It just doesn't matter. And he can't connect with any of his guys. But yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. hurt, Travis Hunter hurt. I guess they traded for Jacoby Myers. We'll see what that happens. But I'm with you. I think the Jaguars' record is way better than what they actually are. That is it for today's episode. We hope that your favorite team wins their game. We hope you win your fantasy matchups. And we will be back with you next week to discuss Week 11 games. We'll talk to you then. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to The Analyst in the Armchair. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on socials, leave us a review, and comment to let us know what you'd like to hear next time.